This is going to be a lot of fun. Please welcome to the program, Martin Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you, man. Thank you. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Nice to see you, gentlemen.
Good to be here.
It says, for people who don't know about the pilgrimage, just give them the basics. Tell them what it is.
Well, since the Middle Ages, there is a pilgrimage that's continued to this day in northern Spain. It actually begins in a little village in the Pyrenees on the French side in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port and goes 800 kilometers over the Pyrenees into Spain and across Spain all the way to Galicia, and culminates at the Santiago de Compostela Cathedral. It is believed that the remains of St. James, the Apostle of Jesus, are interred there, and that's what brings people on this pilgrimage. There are many people that are on spiritual journeys that they wouldn't define them as such. They're just being very human, very generous, and very supportive of other people. But, you know.
With spirituality, I mean, you weren't raised in it, but as you get older.
Well, I told him that if he got all his lines right, I'd become a Catholic.
Let me guess.
And he got close.
But you're not a Catholic.
Right, yeah, so I'm still, you know.
I mean, why did you write it? Did you have your father in mind when you made this film?
Of course, and you know, he really inspired me to begin writing and researching this. He came to me after coming home from Spain and said, we should think about doing a movie on the Camino. And I said, well, okay, well, what is that movie? And I said, well, he said, well, let's start with two old guys. And I said, well, how about a young guy and an old guy? How about I'm in this too? He just immediately starts dismissing me, right? So we talked, we spent about a year just discussing it. Yeah. And I said, well, here's what I think it is. I think it's at its core a father-son story. And you've seen it, and you know that's really it is about a pilgrimage, but at the core of this is about a father trying to connect with his son who's unfortunately now deceased.
It's the idea of working with your dad. I mean, you've done it before, but on a film like this where you're dealing with not just father-son relationships, but questions of spirituality and purpose and one's way through life. What was it like to experience that with the two of you?
Well, with this guy, he's in my heart all my life, and so it's sacramental to work with him. And this was, I've done 3 other films with him over the years, and this was my favorite one because it was deeply personal. And you know what they say about art, if it's not personal, it's impersonal. If it's impersonal, no one cares. So this is a deeply personal film.
There's times when he's directing you.
Yeah.
Did you have moments where you're like, you didn't see the director and you're the actor, but you saw your little boy?
No, I didn't see a little boy. I saw very much a grown man, a very intelligent young man. But he has a great sense of humor. He knows how to, defray my dance. But I'm very good at being Martin. Even on camera, I can play this. Oh, he said, that's fine. That's Martin. That's not Frank. So he always kept me focused and very, very disciplined part. I'd say it's a very subtle performance, thanks to him. He said, throw it all away. It's all interior. You're on a journey. You don't know as much as Martin knows. You know, you're this very conservative Republican, God forgive me, but guy, you know, and you probably voted for George Bush, God forgive me again. Nevertheless, you know, you're going to grow, and you can't exhibit Martin yet. You have to be disciplined enough to let this journey grow inside you, and then you'll change, you know, and that's what happened, you know.
And for me, I mean, what son doesn't dream of telling their father what to do for 8 weeks?
Yeah. Totally.
Stand there, do this, say that.
Cut, do it again.
Do it again.
Well, and for you, I mean, obviously you're establishing yourself as a director, and for a deeply personal movie, was this as personal a movie as you've made?
I think so. We had a very small crew, and we shot it very independently. So the story was big. Our intention was big, and I think the movie has a ton of heart.
How'd your harvest go this year?
Really good.
See,
really
the thing is, what Emilio has in his backyard is, you have a nice place in Malibu, but what you did one day was you decided, I'm going to get rid of my backyard. And when the first time I saw it, I thought, what is he doing? What is going on here?
Right.
To tell people what you did.
Right. Well, I figured you're wasting a lot of water on a lawn. You can't eat it, you can't drink it. and it's just there for the aesthetic. And I thought, well, how about a vineyard? I don't have a view, so I created one. My fiance and I basically dug the holes and planted the rootstock in 2004, and we started our own vineyard. And we now make our own wine and grow our own food and have chickens for eggs, and we basically have a micro farm. And,
but it's big, like the entire backyard
and
is...
the front.
And the front,
and the front.
right.
It's an acre, but it feels like 10 when you're working it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's
I mean,
what's interesting about this, too, is that when I saw it was I figured, well, you just had people working it, but you had nobody working it.
No.
It was you and your fiance. That's it. I mean, what was it like that first time that you ate a meal that was from food that came entirely from your
Actually, I'm a big wuss, but I started to cry. I was like, this is amazing. The food tastes so wonderful, and we can do this. We can turn our backyards into gardens, and we can grow our own food and be sustainable. And now with all the recalls, I don't know what's going on up here in Canada, but you've seen the egg recalls and the ham recalls and the spinach. It's like, it's not that difficult to grow your own food. You just have to take some time away from the computer. Right?
Does it feel like
Get outside.
activism? Does it feel like activism when you're doing
I think
that?
it's one of the most revolutionary things you can do, is grow your own food.
Does it take you away from making films? You're in the backyard?
No, I mean,
Actually, that inspired a lot of
yeah,
the
it really
film.
did. Yeah. I mean, making wine's a lot like making a film, because the grapes are a lot like your screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a good screenplay, you're not going to have a good movie. If the grapes are crap that year, you're going to have a hard time making good wine. So it's a great analogy.
In Toronto during the film festival, there was a protest, a strike, and all of a sudden you joined it, which is not the first time you've done that. You've been a part of this before, and I just wondered the look on the face of a striking hotel worker when they look over and go, the President of the United States of America is right beside me. What happened? You just, I'm going to join?
Well, we knew coming in Wednesday night to the Fairmont Royal York that a strike was pending if they didn't get a deal by midnight the next night. And so we made contact with the union representatives and said, we will not check in, or if we do, we'll wait to see how things work out, but if you don't reach an agreement, we'll leave in support. And they said, no, it's okay. It's only a one-day stoppage. It's a 24-hour strike. But if you could support us, we would be happy as Larry. And so they did not reach an agreement at the 12th hour. And I'm on the national board of the Screen Actors Guild. I've been a member of a union since I was 20 years old. It's 50 years. I've been, I've walked with Cesar Chavez. I've been involved all my adult life in labor movement and for justice for workers, and so it was a natural progression. And I was delighted, and I tell you, it was a whole lot more comfortable being on that picket line than it was being in the hotel.
It was.
But imagine for me now, first time we're unveiling the movie to the world.
Yeah.
And I had a meeting early in the morning, and I drive back to the hotel, and the car pulls up, and I see him in the middle of this group, basically, Viva la Revolution. And I'm thinking, oh no, this is a nightmare. I got to get this man out of this crowd, alive, into a car and into the screening. And fortunately, I was able to get him out without incident.
He stepped out of the car. I put my sign around his head, and I got in the car and took off.
You took off and you started.
And he took up around the car.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Dad. There were times watching this film where, man, you looked a lot like him.
Right.
Did you?
Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
But you look like him, but there were times when you really look like. Did you notice in the making of this, going, my God, I am my father's son?
Well, yeah. Of course, there's that one shot in the car, the scene where he's taking me to the airport, and I've got the same glasses on as him, the same hairstyle, and yeah, it's. He's not a bad-looking guy.
No, he's all right.
We were doing, in 1981, Emilio took a couple of weeks off from high school and joined me in India. I was doing a part in Gandhi, and he was standing in for me. So he was wearing the glasses and the hat and all, and he was standing in this one scene, and they started to shoot it.
That was you. You should have just kept going with it.
I know, I tried.
That's amazing. Emilio's big break in movies. He takes that moment. How many people call you Mr. President when they see it?
Well, I was known as the acting President of the United States. And then when the series ended, I became known as the former acting President of the United States. But I had a guy once tell me, the jokes are endless, but the one I love the most, I was at LAX getting on a plane, and this first class passenger, it was very snobbish, probably a Republican, no offense, but as he walked by, he very slyly looked at me and he said, "Good morning, Mr. President, Air Force One in the shop." And he went on.
Nice. What's inflaming your passion these days? I mean, many people were really outspoken and angered by what happened under the Bush administration, but things have changed a little bit. What has got you going now?
Well, we're very concerned about the immigration issue and immigration smashing, particularly this horrible law in Arizona, which is just reflective of arrogance and ignorance and anger and, public servants who have disgracefully supported this thing because they think that it's the popular thing to do. They have to be reminded that arrogance is ignorance matured, and you're dealing with human beings. And many Hispanic families in Arizona are disappearing under cover of night, and so communities are being dissolved. And these public officials don't have a clue because they don't know anything about these communities. They don't know the amount of contribution that these families make.
Does that challenge it? I mean, there are a group of people who are concerned with immigration because it's ignorance and arrogance, and there's an element of hatefulness, and then there are other people who are just not sure how it works economically speaking, and that governments you'd think would want more people to be in a bigger tax base or whatever. Sure. But for the people who are generally concerned with it, can you see in a sense why? There are not the hateful ones, but some people are not sure how an economy could sustain it.
Every society has a criminal element. I'm not saying, open the doors and let everybody in, but there are upwards of 6 to 7 million undocumented people. I don't call them illegal aliens. I mean, illegal aliens should come from Mars or someplace like that.
See, nobody's illegal, right?
No, of course, but they are undocumented, and they're desperate people, and they have stayed under the radar. Many of them have no health insurance, and they don't surface in any of the municipalities or, for health care or education. They stay very, very under, but they're a very powerful community, and they keep the whole structure going. I mean, really, if you can't, forgive me for vocaling, not your opinion, but mine, is as artists, if we don't speak on the issues of our time, then, we've wasted an opportunity,
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Well, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for coming in. Right on.
I'm really mad.
Are you? Good. We're going to keep going. Emilio Estevez. Marcy, the film is called Away. It's an amazing film. Please go see it. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much. Thank you, man. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching the program. That's it. Nicely done.